Hey YouTube, Brian here, and today you're going to be watching the Xbox 360 review of GoldenEye 007 Reloaded. And in this video you will see MI6 Ops, multiplayer gameplay, and single player gameplay. But let's first begin with the single player. I'm going to go ahead and talk about the 5 things I want to review, which is the gameplay, the controls, the easiness, the load time, and the graphics. Now let's start with gameplay. The gameplay overall is what I expected, actually above that. I played this game expecting, an old-time GoldenEye, versus your players, versus your friends, just having fun, back in the old time when there was no Xbox Live, no PS3 Live, none of those. And it gives that plus more, even with an online experience on here, you still get that old-time feeling of playing GoldenEye, and I love that. Now, as far as the single player goes, I did play the story for about 2 missions, and I actually really wanted to play more, but I only needed a couple clips for this review. The story is very enticing. You want to keep going, and that's a great start to this. I can't tell you how the entire game is, but honestly, I want to do more, and probably after this review, I will play more. So gameplay so far, I would actually rate it a 9 out of 10. And it's just because, honestly, the story's keeping me intact, the controls are great, everything's great. So now, actually, let's move on to the controls. The controls are your typical, if you can get as close as you can to N64 controllers, this is probably the best that they've done. And, you just feel like you're playing GoldenEye from back in the day. And, the only thing is you have the enhanced graphics, the enhanced just controls, and the way that things work. It's more smooth than its, if I may say, its father. And now this game hopefully will bring a whole new generation into what we called GoldenEye, and that would be pretty great. I mean, that was probably one of the biggest games of my time, and that's really what started the entire competition of online gaming today. Was you wanting to play with as many people as you can in a shooter game that's as great as a GoldenEye game is. So as far as the single player, my review, the entire single player experience, I'd probably give an 8 out of 10. For gameplay would be a 9 out of 10. Controls, 9 out of 10. How easy this game is, probably around an 8 out of 10. If you do increase the difficulty, I guarantee it will get harder, although I did do this on normal. And the load times are pretty manageable, and the graphics are actually looking pretty clean. They're not Forza 4 graphics, but they are pretty nice graphics for the game. And before we move on to the MI6 Ops, I do want to show you one last thing, which is the breaching system on this game. If you do notice, they did take this from Call of Duty Black Ops, or the Call of Duty franchise in total. But honestly, you know what? It's a great way to have a breaching system, and I have no complaints. If they want to make their game better using a different technique another game already uses, that's fine, because you know what? It just enhances the experience on this game. And now moving on to the MI6 Ops portion of this video, I'm actually quite impressed. If you've ever heard of Call of Duty Black Ops, I guarantee you've probably also heard of Spec Ops. And what GoldenEye and their creators did here is they made a version of Spec Ops. It made it sort of into a twist where you also have the old style of GoldenEye. And what they did is they put guns all throughout the map in lock boxes that you can open, or on desks, and of course all the guys you kill drop guns as well. And that also gives that factor of I'm able to pick up so many different guns and kill people in different ways, and that keeps it really exciting. Actually, I'm impressed on how excited I was throughout this entire thing. I thought, just like Call of Duty, where you get a couple guns and then you sit in a corner and wait for them to come. Honestly, you want to run out on this one, and it's extremely fun, especially with things like that where you can just beat them down, and they have those cool little animations. So overall, if you do get this game, I guarantee you'll like this. I liked it a lot. Check it out. It is the Spec Ops version. They call it MI6 Ops, and yeah. And now let's move on to the map list. They give you quite a bit of maps on here, at least 16 maps, and they're all, so far, the ones I've played, pretty fair, and both sides are even. And honestly, it's a wide variety of different kinds of maps: big, small, snowy, not snowy. It's really cool. There are also a lot of game modifiers for offline. And also the characters, they give you quite a few characters. There's at least, I'd say, a good 50 characters, including James Bond, all the old characters, Oddjob, all those guys, Jaws, and as you can see, I'm going to be scrolling through them all here in a second, but there's quite a few people, and that enhances the experience as well, because if you can see on the bottom, there's a little white writing. They have little different things that they're better at. Some regenerate health. For example, Oddjob can actually throw his hat, and his hat is a one-shot kill. You only get 3 of those, but it's still really cool. And Jaws takes less damage in the head, all that stuff. So it's a cool thing that they did. There's quite a few people you can play as, and I haven't played as all of them yet, but it's really cool just to have that option to play with that many people. Now moving on, this is the MP5K, the MP5A4, also moving on down to the MP7, the P90, and last but not least the Vector. What they did is they couldn't name the guns because of legal reasons, so they made them different names. That one they could, the AK-47, this is the Scar H, the M4, moving on next to the G36C, and last the MTAR-21, or the TAR-21, I must say, actually, excuse me. Moving on, that is the Dragunov sniper rifle. I'm not sure which one that is. That looks like the Barrett 50 cal. That is the Watherwa 2000, and that is the L86 sniper rifle. And the one thing I like about snipers in this thing is that they're usually all one-shot kills. Moving on, that was a sawed-off shotgun. That is the Remington shotgun. I am not sure what this shotgun is. This is a Spaz 12. And last but not least, you also have the AA-12, and that is a fully automatic shotgun, which is very powerful in this game. That is a Scorpion, an RPG, and last but not least is a laser gun. Those are under the special weapons, and this laser gun is actually one of the worst guns in the game, so you might be surprised by how bad it actually is. Moving on to the attachments, long story short, attachments will change very little from gun to gun, but those are all the attachments that you will be able to use for most of your guns. And yeah, now moving on to the pistols, I'm going to try my best to name them all. I'm not sure if that one, that is the P99, that is the USP-45, that is the Ratifica, that is a 357 Magnum. I'm not sure what that gun is. That is an air compressed pistol, which is actually really fun in this game. That is a very small pistol, I'm not sure the exact name, and that of course is the Golden Gun. Now, the attachments on that, they really don't give you too many. You got the 2 barrels and the laser. Moving on to the Gadget 1, they give you the option of proximity mines, smoke grenades, flashbangs. What they did, these are sort of perks. Gadget 2, you got the run faster perk, the immune to flashbangs, this one's to show up for bombs on the radar. That is basically Juggernaut. That is basically Martyrdom. And that is if you get shot in the back, you will actually take less damage, and grenade and bullet damage are a little bit less. Moving on to the third gadget, or third perk, that is Steady Aim. That is faster reload time. That is more ammo in your clip. That is more damage to your bullets. And that is 2 primary weapons on top of your pistol. So long story short, what they did is they made this a Call of Duty-esque game with all the guns. They're all really fun, and they added the perks in there as well. So honestly, this is an even, fun, fair game, and I actually really enjoyed the local split screen. And last but not least is the online multiplayer. I actually really enjoyed it. What I'm going to do is let you watch this without my commentary, but I do want to review a couple things on this online multiplayer before I do let you do that. The positives and the negatives. The positives, there are a lot of guns, which is a big plus. They gave you a lot of options for that. Also, it is Call of Duty-esque, but they put a GoldenEye factor into it where it makes it really fun. Honestly, I can't explain it, but imagine playing Call of Duty Black Ops and GoldenEye on the N64 together, and that's what you make into this game. And honestly, it's really fun. Moving on to the negatives, the only negatives, as you can see right there, there is no recoil whatsoever, so you can just go ahead and spray in one area and get a kill. Another thing is the online lag. There's quite a bit of lag for all the servers that I've played on so far, but hopefully with time that'll change. And from here, I will go ahead and let you watch this gameplay without any commentary. So hopefully you enjoy. I will be back to present the number that I feel this game deserves at the end out of 10. So here it is. Enjoy.
Good work, comrade. You are dominating the enemy. Pick yourselves up and fight for Mother Russia! I am ashamed to call you my countrymen.
Alright guys, so that was the multiplayer experience. I hope you enjoyed that. Overall, I would give this game a surprising 9 out of 10. I was expecting a cheesy little comeback to GoldenEye, but honestly this game delivers, and it delivers well. It's extremely fun. The story keeps you very involved, and there are a lot of guns, maps to play on for multiplayer and single player experience. So overall, I really do think you should buy this game. It came out a couple days ago, and I guarantee you can get it at any retail store that sells video games. So guys, girls, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. Check out some of my other videos, and coming up will hopefully be Battlefield 3 montages, and same with the new Call of Duty. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Check out my channel, and thank you very much for watching.